So now I'm going to go through Math 1.1 to 1.6 quiz part A. So this here is the first question, 6 plus 4 divided by 2. And what you have to remember here is BEDMAS. I can't go 6 plus 4 because you have to do the division before you do any of the addition and subtraction. So 4 divided by 2, from that I'm going to get 2. Then I'm going to bring down the then I'm going to bring down the 6 plus. 6 plus 2, that's going to give me 8. And there's the answer. Now here's the second question. 10 minus 2 to the 3 times by minus 5. And again, remember that you have to do the exponents before you do the multiplication, before you do the addition and subtraction. So don't forget about BEDMAS. So here I have a 3 that's affecting just the 2. So this here, 2 to the 3, that's saying 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 times 2, that's 8. And then bring everything else down. Then you have to do the multiplication. We have here negative 8 times by negative 5. A negative and a negative will give me a positive. And then 8 times by 5 is 40. Then bring down the 10. Lastly, my addition, 10 plus 40, that's going to give me 50. That's my answer. Alright, so here I have negative 2 to the power of 4 over, in brackets, negative 4 to the power of 2. So remember what I said in class, whenever you have a bracket, it affects both the sign and the number. When there's no bracket, it affects only the number. It doesn't affect the sign. So I'm going to still have a negative here. And then 2 to the power of 4, that's 2 times 2, which is 4, times 2, which is 8, times another 2, which is 16. Okay? Divide by, now, whenever there is a minus sign, and if this number here, if the exponent is even, the minus sign changes into a positive. If the exponent is odd, like say this is a 3, a 5, or a 7, then it remains a negative. But since it's an even number, it's 2, it becomes a positive. Then here, 4 to the power of 2, 4 times by 4 is 16. Then I have a negative divided by a positive. That's going to give me a negative. Then 16 divided by 16 is just 1. Alright, here, so I have here 10 minus 5 square brackets, 5 minus 2 round brackets, 3 minus 5, closing the round, closing the square. So do the innermost brackets first. So this here is the innermost brackets. I have 3 minus 5. 3 minus 5 is going to give me negative 2. I'm going to keep my round brackets here. Then I'm going to write everything else that's outside. Alright, so now I have a bracket here and I have to do the multiplication within the brackets before I do the subtraction here. So I have negative 2 times by negative 2. A negative and negative will give me a positive. 2 times 2 is a 4. Then I have my 5 square brackets, 5 minus 10. Okay? Again, do the square brackets, 5 plus 4, that's 9. Write everything else afterwards. Then negative 5 times by 9, because I have to do my multiplication before I do my subtraction. That's going to give me negative 45. And then 10 minus 45 is going to give me negative 35. And now here I have open the square brackets, minus 6 plus 2, round brackets, 1 minus 4, square brackets, divide by 3 minus 6. So again, do your innermost brackets first, which is 1 minus 4, so that's going to give me a negative 3. Write everything else around it. Okay, now within this bracket, I have to do the multiplication before I do the addition. So positive 2 times by negative 3, positive and a negative will give me a negative. 2 times by 3, 6. Then write everything else. Then I have here negative 6 subtract by negative 6. Negative 6 subtract by negative 6 is negative 12. Write everything else around it. Now I have to do my division before I do my my subtraction. So negative 12 divided by 3, a negative and a positive will give me a negative. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Subtract by 6. Negative 4 subtract by 6, that's negative 10. That's the answer.